Hello and welcome to Movie Buff's real-time trailer reactions. I'm your host, Shani B. You can find me on all the socials at It's Me, Shani B.
And I'm your other host, Cisco from Misfit Minded. You can follow me on all the socials at misfit_minded and my website, misfitminded.com. Today we're reviewing and reacting to the first official trailer for Ballerina, the long-awaited, talked about spin-off of the John Wick universe, starring Ana de Armas, Gabriel Byrne, and Norman Reedus, directed by Len Wiseman. So we've got it queued up. Let's take a look.
Do you like the dogs? I know a school where they teach dances. I could take you there if you'd like.
To stop the assassin, you must become the assassin. You will always be weaker. You will always be smaller. You want to win? Improvise. Adapt. Cheat.
Welcome to the Continental.
Eve Macaro of the Roscaroma. What a pleasure to see you again. You have no idea what you just walked into.
They killed my father. This isn't done until they're dead.
Fate is a very humbling thing.
You're him. The one they call the Baba Yaga. How do I start doing what you do?
Looks like you already have.
Woo! I got chills. I straight up goose
Yeah.
pimples all over this. My whole body, my legs too, everything. I am so stoked for this.
Oh, yeah.
Wow. Wow. Okay, what are your takeaways? What are your first thoughts about this trailer?
Give it to me. Put it in my veins, you know?
Right?
We've talked about before, I think I mentioned it a few times that Ana de Armas has potential to be an action star. We've
Yes.
seen glimpses of it here and there. I think she was in the Bond, No Time to Die, and I think
Yeah,
was she
little
in
tease.
the Gray Man for like a hot second too or something? And
Lots of
it's
teasing.
just like, what? Come on, like, can we get a full? And so I'm glad someone, it doesn't seem like it's that much of a stretch. Was like, hey, the hottest actress around right now that can do action. Let's put her in an action movie.
What if we tried?
Yeah, and so she's looking like she's kicking all sorts of ass, which is what you need in a John Wick movie. I love how, we talked about this in our John Wick episode too, like the things that we like. I feel like they put in the trailer to reassure John Wick fans like us, like, we're still gonna have the hotel in Winston, even though that actor Lance Reddick passed away. He's in this thing, which I didn't know, so that was crazy.
Yep.
We have Baba Yaga, John Wick himself, making a
Making an
cameo,
appearance.
which,
Yes.
neither of us had seen the trailer. I had seen a thumbnail of that, but I
Same.
wasn't sure if that was AI or not. So I was on the
Good
fence
point.
of, like, if that was real, so I'm glad that that's a real thing that's in the trailer.
Yes.
Um, and you have, like, the Russian ballerina stuff, which I kind of expected, when I heard the title of it. That's the only kind of reference to that we get in John Wick.
Right.
So I like that they're bringing that in. I mean, all of the characters that John Wick interacts with, except for maybe like Lawrence Fishburne's not in this, but that's okay. All the other ones with
We have
Winston,
a whole franchise
yeah,
possibly for him to come back around in.
yeah.
Mhm.
So I'm really excited for it. It looks really good. Even like, I mean, obviously the hand to hand stuff's gonna be good, but like some of the other stuff, even with like her spraying the hose at the flamethrower, it's like,
Yes.
oh, that's just like that's not an image I've seen in an action movie before. So yeah, that's cool. That's all we asked for. What about you?
I'm sharing all of your sentiments. I'm so excited for this. My whole body was on fire watching it, just being like, yes, this is what I want. I'm a huge Ana de Armas fan. I feel like she has so much to work with. And I love the idea of her being an action star because I feel like she is more versatile than people maybe were thinking when she first came
Yeah.
on the scene because she's, of course, so beautiful.
Hmm.
I love that she and Keanu are reunited since
Uh,
Knock Knock. Oh,
oh, I
man,
forgot
back
about that.
together again. So good.
That's funny.
And I like
Someone said that's
I
the only time that John Wick took an L was
he
in Knock
did.
Knock.
He had to take that out, and she was so good in that too.
Yeah, okay.
But yeah, I think like that's the lure like you're talking about. I think the Ballerina spinoff is so good because, in the final film when he went to Angelica Houston and they were like, there is this history he has
Yeah.
with this like ballet situation. I was like, okay, I definitely want to know more about that.
But
And this is the perfect way.
they leave that like a lot of things in John Wick universe, they don't explain what the ballerinas are. We just know that he grew up in this environment. The
Right.
ballerinas kinda took him in,
Right.
and then we see in the trailer they're doing the same thing with the Ana de Armas character that he says, "I know a perfect place for you," like
Yep. I know
to
where children who need vengeance go get raised. I've
Yeah.
got you. I've got you.
Yeah, and then,
Um,
usually when they play, like, the slowed down pop song too, it's like
I
it's
love it.
always it's pretty annoying most of the time, but you can't hate on Tiny Dancer and Elton John. I
No.
mean,
No, you can't. It
it's
sounds very cool in this
pretty
trailer.
perfect. So even if they don't play that in the actual movie, to be expected from trailers. So they got me excited. I mean, even the stuff like her putting the gold coin, paying with the gold coin, and then when
Yes.
she goes inside like the weapons room, which we've seen in
Yep.
like John Wick 2, I think, and 3.
Right.
One of those
Yeah,
is when we
McShane's
get
got
that.
that room for him ready to go.
Yep,
Mhm.
we get that whole, yeah. I think it's 3 when you get the showdown at the actual room.
Continental.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So yeah, it's looking like a must see, I gotta say.
I'm interested to see kind of like where it falls slash coincides with the John Wick overarching story because I don't know if it's like after the events we've already seen, if it's alongside, if it's in between a couple movies. I wonder,
Mm.
if it's something like that where there's like a kind of overlap, or what. And yeah, I'm just
Well, not
excited
yeah, not
to
to spoil John Wick 4,
right.
but, I guess my takeaway when like there's like speculation like there's gonna make a new John Wick or whatever, and then when I heard this ballerina project's been rumored for a long time,
Right.
I was like, and like even before John Wick 4 came out, but after John Wick 4 came out, I was like, just do ballerina, yeah, pass the torch. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Like
Let
it
it go.
doesn't need like they ended it as perfect as I feel like I can
They could.
imagine the franchise ending there. And
True.
so when this trailer, like they did the TV show too, we should mention the
That's right.
Continental, which I haven't seen, but
Me neither.
um, this I feel like is more of like an official spin-off. It's
Yes.
like people from, you know, from the actual movies. It's definitely the visual style is very
Yep.
similar. So,
That's what I'm so excited about too,
yeah.
the filmmaking to return because it's a unique kind of filmmaking that Stahelski does in these movies, and I'm so excited for that as well.
So I'm thinking, maybe this can start its own franchise, who knows?
It better,
I know,
straight up.
right. And I know, which was a bummer because I mean, some of the female-led ones that we talk about, they really don't spark
Like,
franchises like Atomic Blonde, was
oh,
one and
so
done,
good.
which we had an episode on.
Yep.
But even like Fury Road, which should have been a franchise starter, I feel like, for Charlize again.
It, like,
Didn't
kind of gets
happen,
a franchise vibe because
but they
of
do a
Furiosa,
prequel, you
but
know, but
it's
it
true. It's
yeah.
like Charlize has really been shortchanged here.
Yeah, what is it? I don't know what the I think we talked about that on Atomic Blonde too.
Yeah.
I remember. And then lastly, I just want to mention that someone pointed out that I love like wherever no matter what Norman Reedus is in, that guy is not going to change his hair at all.
No, absolutely not.
You're getting Norman Reedus when you
That's
cast him
right.
in something. So, which I love because like I think he's badass and like he just has this certain look to him, like, that he's had since, like, Blade, like, the
Y
early Blade days,
Yes. Yep.
and so I'm just ready for, yeah, him to be part of this franchise too.
Yeah, it's a
Uh
little rude, but he's sort of like a scumbag version of Clint Eastwood. He just has that,
mhm,
like, look on his face. He is, of course, I'm sure a nice guy and, like, had emotional storylines in the movies and TV he has done, but there's just something about that look where, like, I don't really want anything else from him. I want him to bring that
no.
every time.
Yeah, and he does. I mean, like, it's like even in his like Walking Dead spinoff, that he has or whatever, and then he had
Yep.
like his own show on AMC, and it's like very hard to pinpoint the difference between those two things. It's just like it just feels like one has zombies in it, and the other is just Norman Reedus riding his bike around America or something with the show. I feel like.
Yeah,
Um,
and Gabriel Byrne being here is pretty cool too. I love him. He's
yeah,
like
he
an
hasn't been
OG
in
guy.
something for a while. Like
I
that's kind
know.
of weird. When I saw that you put that on there, I was like, wow, I didn't know he was in this.
It's
Uh,
nice. I like
yeah,
when, movies do that when they like sort of go deep into the canon and they go looking for like some
yeah.
OG person that everyone's gonna be like, whoa, they're
Well,
back?
that's what I love about John Wick too, though, because like there's people that you forget. Like when we did the first John Wick, it's like, oh shit, Willem Dafoe is here, or
Yes.
John Leguizamo is the car guy. Like it's
Yes.
just like these random people that we love, and so it looks like they're continuing that tradition.
Very
So,
grateful for
so
that.
yeah.
Yes, yes, yes. So, I mean, obviously, are you gonna try to see this one in the theaters? Is this one that you'll try to make it out for?
I think so. Yeah. I mean, I John Wick 4 like was a I think we talked about it in our John Wick episode, but that was like a very memorable theater experience. Like I'm like, man, I'm so glad I saw this in the theater. That shit was like pulsating, pounding,
Yes.
like
Yes. Yep.
the audio we talked about was so damn loud and crazy. So I'm expecting more of the same. And so what about you though?
Same, same. It
Yeah,
it might be hard for me to finagle in terms of my schedule, but I will make it happen.
yeah.
I definitely this is one that hopefully will either be in IMAX or Dolby. I'm gonna try to see it in like one of those heightened stylized settings just because, John Wick in
4DX.
IMAX was
Get
amazing.
get a flamethrower to the face and for
Yes. Yeah, like some wind at my back,
yeah.
some smells in the theater, like, I'll see whatever they're gonna give me. But yeah, I'm so jazzed for this one that, not every trailer really gets me being like, "Oh, hell yeah."
Yeah.
Especially not like extended universe stuff sometimes, but man, this one
I'm really rooting for this too because, we kind of the Anna de Armas element of it all where it's like she's been good consistently in everything she's been in for so long, but like
yes,
nothing has kind of like broken through,
right.
to where like, oh, she's a mega superstar, which is weird because like I think she got nominated for an Oscar
For
for
Blonde, yeah.
Blonde. Yeah, so
Yep.
she's Oscar nominated. She's been in these hit movies like Knives Out, but like
Yes.
where is her leading actress movie that's a hit also?
Right,
It's like
where's
she
the
hasn't
one
reached that yet.
yeah,
And
we
I've
need
been
the
waiting
one
for
that
it.
yes, yeah, in 15 years that people are gonna be like, "You know Ana de Armas from." Like, we need
Yes.
that because we could name all those ones you named, but it's true. You gotta have your own franchise. You gotta have your own, like, deniable character, and I do
Yeah.
think this could really be that for her.
I even, we have before we get out of here, I have to shout out her movie with Ben Affleck, Deepwater, which she did when they
Oh,
were still
yes, Dino
dating.
De Laurentiis, baby.
Because that one is just so crazy. It's we don't get a lot of like sex thrillers anymore, and so that one I have to shout that one out. It's just
That's
a
why I had to
wild ride.
also
Yeah,
do a little nod to Knock Knock, right? That
yeah,
too is a sexual thriller,
yeah.
and our queen is able to do it. Yeah, she really is. She is due for it now, so I'm so excited about this one.
Same,
Um,
same.
all right, that wraps it up for us. Thank you for joining us for the Movie Buffs real-time trailer reaction to Ballerina. Let's remind the people where they can find us.
So you never miss a rep. Follow the show on Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube. And we stay buff. And on Twitch at the Buffs. You can follow me on the socials at misfit_minded and my website, misfitminded.com.
Take us for a ride and subscribe to the podcast on Apple and Spotify. And please leave a positive review. 5 stars is the dream. And of course, you can follow me personally on all the socials at It's Me, Shani B. All right. Thank you for joining us. We hope to catch you next time on Movie Buffs real-time trailer reactions. Until then, stay buff.